Hey everybody, Coach Coop here. And this week we're going to be diving into one of the coolest topics in all of fitness, how your body actually creates energy. You might be wondering, why does this matter? Well, understanding your energy systems is like understanding the engine in the car, where your power comes from on the bike, where your endurance comes from. And once you know how this works, you can use it way more effectively. These are lessons that you're going to be keeping and using for the rest of your life, but we can optimize them for performance too. So think about a car for a second. A car has different gears, right? And the first gear is really powerful, but it's kind of slow. Your fifth gear is fast, but you can't use it when you're just trying to start moving or the engine will actually stall. And you can think about it the same way on the bike too. You know, your bigger gears make you go faster, but it's really hard to get them turning over when you're starting in that big gear, right? And your body works the same way. It basically has three different gears or energy systems. And here's what's crazy is that your body is always using all three systems, but depending on what you're doing or where you are in a race or on a ride, one system is always doing most of the work while the other ones support it. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean as simply as I possibly can here. The first system is what we would call the phosphagen system, but I just call it the explosive system. This is your first gear. This is maximum power, but only for about 10 seconds. So here's how this energy looks if we were actually mapping it out. So on this axis, we have wattage. That's our measure of power for cyclists. And on this axis, we have time. And let's say that you can put out, 300 watts. That's close to your maximum wattage output. Well, when we're using this system, the phosphagen system, the explosive system, you can put out your maximum wattage, but not for very long. So the curve looks something like this. Okay. So maybe I can do like 300 watts, but I can't hold that for very long. This is what you're using when you're sprinting as hard as you can, or you're doing a max effort deadlift, or like there's an explosive hill climb or a very, very steep hill climb. Basically, anytime you come out of your saddle, you're probably starting to use this system. If you're trying to jump as high as you can, that kind of thing. Your muscles have a very small amount of stored energy called ATP. Write that here, and also creatine phosphate. It's like having this tiny reserve tank that's immediately available. ATP is like the basic unit of energy. Creatine phosphate is like a tiny storage tank that lets you stretch that unit of energy out for like 10 seconds. Don't worry about that. It runs out fast, but 10 seconds of all out effort is pretty much all you've got. The good news is that it does refill pretty quickly too. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes of rest. So if we were, continuing on with this, you could do your high output performance, and then you'd really like have to rest for about 2 minutes, and then you could probably do another one, and then you crash down again, and then you could do another one. And this is what we're actually training in the gym when we're doing short intense bursts followed by rest. We're training this system to be better. So if ATP is your first gear, like that phosphagen system is your first gear, then the second system is the glycolytic system, and I call this your medium gear. This system can keep you going for about 30 seconds to 2 minutes of hard work. You can't put out as much power as you would with that explosive system, but you can put out quite a bit of power and you can hold that for quite a while. Now, this system breaks down carbohydrates, which is stored as glycogen in your muscles, to create energy. It's not as instantly powerful as the phosphagen system, but it lasts way longer. And the reason is because it has to break down that carbohydrate to create that ATP. So here's what this looks like. If we were graphing it, it would look like this. So, you can put out maybe 200 watts of energy, let's say, and you can put it out for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. And then you basically run out of stored glucose in your blood and you have to break down more. This is the system that you're using when you're doing like repeated burpees for a minute, sprinting 400 meters, doing those AMRAPs that I'm going to give you, where you're working hard for 90 seconds to 2 minutes, attacking kind of a longer climb, maybe with a grade of like 3 to 5, where you've got to keep going, for 2 to 3 minutes at a consistent level. But here's the catch. This system produces something that's called lactate as a byproduct. You know that burning feeling that you get, especially in your quads when you're going up a hill, or maybe in your hamstrings on a longer flat? That's related to lactate buildup. And it's not bad for you. It's just your body's way of saying, hey, we're working really hard here and we're running out of energy. The glycolytic system is what we're targeting in a lot of our conditioning work. When you feel like you're pushing through that burn, you're getting mentally and physically tougher. And so what we can do is we can actually extend this curve out to be longer and longer and longer so that you can generate submaximal but still high levels of power for longer periods of time. These two curves are things that we can train in the gym really well. The third curve that I'm going to be talking about here in a minute, the aerobic system, is something that you're best to train on your bike. So the aerobic system is like your cruise control. This is the system that can keep you going for hours and hours, but it's not as powerful as the other two. Here's what it would look like if we graph. You can't put out nearly as much power when you're moving aerobically, but you can do it for a long time. And we can train that aerobic system, number one, to put out a little bit more power while you're training. So we can maybe move the curve up to here, and we can extend that out, pretty far, almost indefinitely. This system uses oxygen to break down fats and carbohydrates. This is the key. In the other two systems, you're relying on, I said ATP up here. Here, you're relying on mostly carbs. But in this system, you can use fats and carbs. And because you can store a lot of fat and you get a lot of energy from the fat when you break it down, you can run for a long time on this energy system. It's super efficient. It's very sustainable. And you're using this system when you go for a very long run where you keep your heart rate low, when you do a workout that takes over 20 minutes, and when you're literally just existing, you're using your aerobic system watching this video. The aerobic system is your base, and the better your aerobic fitness, the faster you recover between hard efforts and the better your overall endurance. Okay, watch this. So if I have a very strong aerobic base, and let's say that I am using my explosive system, well, instead of crashing all the way down, what basically happens here is I drop to the level that my aerobic system can tolerate, and then I can come back up. So I don't have to drop all the way down to zero. Where you'll see this in the gym is like you're doing something really, really hard for 10 seconds, and then you got to take a knee. You got to stop. But if your aerobic system is good, you don't have to stop for as long, and you don't have to completely crash. You can just keep moving. All right. So let's put this all together here, and I'm going to just go back to my original drawing here. So just so that I don't lose anybody here, your explosive system runs on ATP. That's the basic function. That's the basic molecule of energy in your body. Okay. But it can only last for, 5 to 10 seconds. I'm even exaggerating by giving it 30 seconds here. Eventually your medium system, your glycolytic system will kick in, and that can last, maybe up to 5 minutes if it's trained really well. And then your aerobic system basically is what's going to carry you across the finish line. But you have to train all three. And that's what's really important. That's what we're going to be doing in the gym. And here's what this means for your training. We have to train all three because you need all three to be a complete athlete. Some days we're going to do short explosive work, this ATP phosphagen system. Some days we'll do these tough 1 to 2 minute efforts. That's your glycolytic system here. Okay. And some days we'll do longer conditioning work, aerobic. You'll mostly do those on the bike. That's right here. When you understand which system that you're working, then the workout makes way more sense. You know when it's time to push and when it's time to rest and when it's time to pace. And if I tell you to rest 2 minutes between max effort burpees, it's because we need to let the phosphagen system recharge and spike back up so it's ready to go again. If we're doing a 15-minute workout, you need to pace yourself because you're going to be relying more on that aerobic system. Your body is incredibly smart. It automatically uses the right energy system for what you're doing. And our job in training is to make all three systems stronger. So next week in the gym, pay attention to how different parts of the workout feel different. And that's your energy systems at work.